Hey guys, what's going on, man? Scott Lennox here, fishing OC, deadly tackle, hooked on OC, all kinds of stuff, man. Thanks very much for clicking into the channel. We appreciate you guys joining us along this journey, man. We wanted to do some stuff that's fun, educational, entertaining, we hope. And you guys are joining us and subscribing, and we really appreciate it. If anybody's new to the channel, basically what we do, my wife Kristen and I, we own a company here in Ocean City, Maryland called Fishing OC. It's a magazine and website where you can find out all about fishing in Ocean City, charter boats, places to stay, food, tackle, you name it, we've got it covered here in Ocean City. Really extensive website with all that information. We also have a company called Deadly Tackle where we sell some inshore tackle, rigs, tog jigs, rods now. So that's basically what we do. We'll put some fishing content, some cooking content, all sorts of stuff here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow our social media along the way too. So I started to go to these winter trade shows now, and the very first one I went to, I started to get a lot of questions about the new rods that we've got, what I like to put on a JPR, that sort of thing. So I figured I'd jump on here and answer that question with the Inshore reel that we put on our casting rod. Not the spinning, well, maybe we'll get into the spinning rod in another video, but this is the Inshore casting. So we have two types of rods that we use. We got our new Deadly Tackle sticks in just about a week and a half or so ago. It's a great, really great inshore fishing rod. The casting version is 7 feet long. It's got that acid wrap curly cue to it. And we're selling them now, so they're $1.50. You can see us at the trade shows and that sort of thing. But we also use the JPRs pretty religiously as well. They're in the 6 to 7 foot range, medium heavy to heavy action. And like I say, that question I got a bunch was, what reel should I put on there if we get one of your rods? So I figured I'd tell you guys about the different reels that we use here in Ocean City for inshore fishing. If you live in a different area, this is going to be for small inshore species. I'm sure you could use them for freshwater if you wanted to, but we mainly fish for flounder, bluefish, rockfish, striped bass. We fish in the ocean for sea bass a little bit. So this is going to be that light inshore stuff on a casting rod. Even whether you've got a regular conventional casting rod or you've got the acid wrap curly cue, this will be fine for any of those. So let's get started, man. So first up, Kristen's pink JPR. This is the acid wrap she loves to use pretty much all season long. You do love this rod, right?
It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's her favorite rod. Obviously because it's got the Deadly Double already on it, waiting for the spring fishery to start. More on that later. Looks like the flounder fishing regulations are going to be changing here in Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia, just like they are for you up the coast. If you guys live in places to the north, got to take a 28% reduction. Not getting into that here. Anyhow, so Kristen on hers, I got this reel for her several years ago now, I think it was, and this is the Garcia Ambassador. This is a really, really great reel. They've had this reel out for like 100 years or something like that. Crazy. They've advanced on it, obviously, with technology. This particular reel is the C3. They make two versions of the C3. A couple of different colors I still think they manufacture. They have a 5500 series and a 6500 series. This is the 6500 series. And this is about as large as I would go on our new Deadly Tackle rods. I'll show you those in just a minute. But it's perfect for this JPR. Got the long foam grip on it, fore handle here. Like I said, got the acid wrap going up top. This reel, I think, fit about 225 yards or so of 20-pound braid is what we've got on here. Love the paddle handle with the two different handles here. It's got a gear ratio of 5.3 to 1. And those of you that don't really understand gear ratio, the gear ratio basically means for every time you turn this reel handle and make one revolution, the spool turns 5.3 times. So you can get a lot of retrieve, and you'll see that the gear ratio will be different on these different reels as I talk about them. But Kristen really likes this one. This is the silver version of the Garcia Ambassador 6500 series. All right, next up is one of my combos. This is my 6.5 foot JPR custom with the Hooked on OC logo. If you guys order any JPR combos, this retails for around $279, I think. There's a little discount code if you happen to mention Fishing OC. I'm sure that Paul would hook you up with. But I love the cork handle on this bad boy. It's gotten really expensive to do cork lately, so keep that in mind if you happen to order one of these rods. Acid wrap going up. This is a 6.5 foot version. And on this rod, I've got my Corsair. I don't think they make the Corsair anymore. This is the Shimano Corsair. It's a round reel. We really like the round reels when it comes to this bait casting stuff. Same thing as Kristen's Ambassador, real close to about 225 or so yards, a 20-pound braid on this reel. The gear ratio on this bad boy is 5 to 1, so you get 5 turns of the spool for every crank you make. on the handle. You've got a star drag here right on the side next to the reel, push button, level wind, which we like quite a bit. Really, really simple. That way you can hold this thing. You click it one time, you keep your thumb on it, you let it down to the bottom. We're mainly flounder fishing. As soon as it gets to the bottom, you click it over and you're ready to engage the spool, set the hook, and reel those fish in. You've got a knob here that controls the spool adjustment, so you want to make it a little bit tighter, a little bit looser. You just turn this knob simply right there, and then again the star drag there for setting your drag on it. This is the Shimano Corsair. They made this reel in sizes 200 to 400, and what you'll notice with Shimano is if you see a 300 size reel and then a 301, the 301 is the left-hand version of retrieve. So right-handed version will be the 00, left-handed version will be the 01 version, like 301, 401, and so on. But this is the Shimano Corsair. If you can find any, it's a really great reel. Don't think that Shimano manufactures this reel any longer, but they do manufacture the next reel I'll tell you about. All right, so next up, the rod that I'm putting this reel on is actually one of the prototypes that we had testing last summer for the new Deadly Tackle Elite Series casting rod. We've gotten really great response at the one show we've gone to with this rod. Right now we've got them in stock, but we're not going to put them on the website. They're not going to be available in local tackle shops until we get done with trade show season. It's just easier that way. Plus a lot of the shops are doing inventory and that sort of thing during the off season. So once the spring starts, these will be available in several shops in the area. We'll also have them available on our website. Retail price on these is $150. So it's a really great price point, really terrific rod. Has an awesome bend to it. You can see there, I don't know if you can get that. You can see it's got a really fast taper up at the top, and it's got a really nice bend. When I was testing this out, I was really putting it to the sticks, man, and I put an 8-pound dumbbell on the end of this and was able to pick it up off the ground. So I'm confident that it's a really strong stick. It's made with carbon fiber. This rod weighs 5 ounces. Really, really light, thin handle. We made it long enough where you can tuck it up underneath your armpit here if you like to fish like this. This is going to be a great rod. What you'll notice about this rod different from the other ones is there's no foregrip on this. We added a foregrip. I'll show you that on the next one. But I was testing this exact combo pretty much all summer long, and it is a really great combo. Lightweight, I can hold this thing all day long. And what I've got on this rod is the Shimano Corvallis. All right, Corvallis makes them 300 and 400. They are 300 and 400 series. 301 is left-handed, 401 is also left-handed. And when I got the question like what size reel would you put on that rod, this is the one I said I would go with most often. 300 series, 400 series, whatever's comparable in a different manufacturer is going to be the way to go in that. You just don't want to have too much reel for the rod on this. Even though this rod can handle lots of inshore different species, I was able to catch a 15-pound mahi on this stick on the Morning Star during the summer, but you just don't want to overpower the rod with the reel. So Corvallis is a great way to go. This is the 400 series, just like the Corsair that they no longer make. It's got a really great gear ratio, 5.3 to 1 on this gear ratio, easy for me to say. Got the 2 paddled handle, star drag here once again, and then again your line adjustment for the spool, so you can either strengthen the tension or loosen the tension. Push button, just as simple as pushing the button, click it over and it's engaged. And then you've also got your level wind here, which I think is pretty important for the inshore stuff. There you go. Shimano Corvallis on the new Deadly Tackle Elite Series casting rod. All right, last but certainly not, well, not last but certainly not least, one reel I'm not going to be able to show you today is my Calcutta 250. I've got or 200, I'm sorry, the Calcutta 200. Shimano still makes the Calcutta. It's a pricey reel, you know, it's in the 250 to 350 range depending on the series that you get, but I really love my Calcutta 200. It's the old gold reel. It's got a great gear ratio on it. Right now it's in the shop over at Atlantic Tackle, just getting greased and lubed and all that sort of thing. I've had that reel for 25 years, absolutely zero problems with it, and it catches a lot of flounder. So that's perfect size for this, anywhere in that 200 to like 400 size in the Shimano branded stuff. Second to last but not least, some of you guys like to use a low profile reel. That's what I've got here. I like this reel quite a bit. This is the Canyon CR10 Pro Lockdown. Great inshore fishing reel if you'd like to use it for flounder and that sort of thing, just dropping, just like the other reels. It's got a push button release for the spool. You turn it over, it engages. Star drag here for tightening your drag, your overall drag. reel spool drag here for either tightening or loosening the reel spool for how you want the line to come off the reel. If you're a caster, right, if you like using one of these low profile reels for casting, bucktails, thingamajigs, Roy rigs, that sort of thing, and or bass fishing, you know, you can take this and you really get used to it. You're going to want to loosen it as much as possible, because then it's really going to come flying off the reel as you cast stuff. If you're flounder fishing, that sort of thing, you don't want the line flying off of there with a 2 or 3 or 4 ounce sinker, so you're going to tighten that up a little bit. That's what that knob is for. It's a great reel for what we do. I'm in maintenance phase right now, so what this is going to do is have 20-pound test on it. It does hold less than the round reels because it's low profile, but I can still get, you know, 140 or so, 150 yards of 20-pound braid on here, which is plenty for what I'm using it for. I don't take this rod out into the ocean. This is the setup that I use in the back bay where we're fishing mainly 30, 40 feet deepest. So it's just fine for that. And you've actually got an adjustment knob over here on the spool as well. Great little inshore reel. Got the level wind on the inside there, push button, quick engagement. And what I'll point out, Kristen reminded me, all of the rods that we use that are casting rods, even the new Deadly Tackle Elite Series rods, these casting rods have a trigger. Really like that trigger, because as you're either casting, you can hold this and give it that zip for casting, or while you're fighting fish, it makes it really nice and comfortable to have your hand in that position. Put that forefinger up on the trigger, gives you a little bit more stability with the rod rather than having to hold it like this. You can really put that finger in there, hold that trigger, exactly what it's for. And as I pointed on the last, my prototype rod, this rod's got the foregrip. What I found while I was using the prototype was I wasn't exactly comfortable holding that rod up toward the top when I was fishing in the ocean, when I would take it out there, or when I was holding the rod like this under my armpit. That's much better, right? I got a place where I can grab onto something foamy and comfortable. That way I can hold that all day long. So if I'm out there just deciding to reel like this and catch the sea bass or flounder or whatever, gives me a nice support underneath the arm, plenty of space in here to hold the reel, and then I've got a foregrip there so I can put some tension on the rod to be able to put that rod to good use. There it is, man. The Canyon CR10 Pro Lockdown. Like I said, about 140 or so yards of 20-pound braid. This has a 6.3 to 1 gear ratio. Because it's a smaller reel, as you turn the handle, you'll get more cranks out of that spool. And you can see, I'll go slow as I do it. This is what gear ratio is all about. One turn from the handle in a circular motion, you can see how many times a spool goes around before I get down to the bottom. Boom. Almost 6.5 times that spool goes around with one crank of the handle. Bing, there you go. So really great gear ratio. This has got the highest gear ratio out of the 4 reels I showed you, and the one I mentioned in the Calcutta. But that's what we use, man. These are the 4 setups that we currently have. We're going to be getting a couple of more. We're looking into a couple of more. Kristen and I are probably going to lean into the Calcutta side of things, maybe in that 300 range. We're just looking for a few more combos we can put together, because we like to do some inshore flounder fishing. Now that I've got the boat set up where we can do a little bit of trolling, and these rods with these JPRs, they're going to be a deadly combo for the Deadly Tackle line. And I think we're going to have a really great season for it. Make sure you pay attention to our social media. It's iFishingOC on Instagram, FishingOC on Facebook, deadly-tackle.com for all the tackle, and fishingoc.com for our nightly fishing report and all the goodies there for fishing related stuff here in Ocean City, Maryland. And these, if you see us at a trade show, they'll be available, man. We'll be at the Harrisburg show. We will be at the Ocean City Boat Show. We'll also be at the Saltwater Fishing Expo in Edison, New Jersey in March. So there you go, man. What would you put on the new Deadly Tackle stick or the JPRs that you recommend? There's a lineup. You go to do some research online and set yourself up with one. I'm sure you'll be happy with it. Stay tuned for the next vid. Peace.